So, Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. One of the best duos in the WNBA right now. Without question. Without question, one of the best duos we have seen in quite a while. And it is, again, without question, a great, it's going to be the future of the Indiana Fever. Especially when we're talking about Aliyah Boston right now. Aliyah Boston right now, look, if you want to say who the system is built around, who to build around as far as system is concerned, it's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the system. Look, it's a system that's been very successful. And I saw someone mention, and it was like, Caitlin Clark is going to be on triple-double watch every single time she plays now, because teams are half the time, teams now are so scared of the transition offense from the Fever that they're running back on defense and not getting offensive boards, and that also the Fever are letting Caitlin Clark get the board so they don't have to get the board to her and pass it to her to let her get the board and run. So she's going to be on triple-double watch every single game. But we're looking at Aliyah Boston, and we can finally put to bed all the dumb rumors of this team doesn't like each other. And look, I'll say it, there was definitely at the start of the year something with the team. And I don't think it was dislike towards Caitlin. I think it might have been some sort of we're playing badly. We're getting blamed for everything. The media only cares about this one player. So I think there is a bit of that. And it's not even resentment towards her. You could see Caitlin Clark was as annoyed about it as everyone else in the team. I think it was just a bad atmosphere in the team for a while. I think there was just a bad atmosphere, and let's be real, Zubilation, the post-Zubilation Fever have been one of the best teams in the world. But you guys have seen, you're seeing it now, obviously, the Caitlin Clark fans coming out in droves to vote for Aliyah Boston. She was the second highest All-Star vote getter. She was more voted than Angel Reese. She was more voted than A'ja Wilson. The Caitlin Clark fans came out in droves, and that's all. A lot of the new fans, it was always when it came to Aliyah Boston about just the basketball. And look, Aliyah Boston was terrible to start the year, but she's been an all-star since. But you're even seeing, in the interview yesterday, Caitlin Clark is just talking about being happy she won, about the triple-double, and Aliyah Boston interrupts her.
But obviously 13 assists, that means my teammates made 13 shots off my passes, so that goes to them. But I don't know.
She's so humble, isn't she?
I don't know what to say. I mean, it's great. I don't know.
Really cool, Caitlin.
Great job, sister.
You got time for 2 on Zoom.
So, you can see, obviously, Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. But, that's the thing, if you don't know anything, Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston were on Team USA's together. Both of them were unbelievably excited to be playing with each other. If you saw them at the draft, they were both unbelievably excited. And, again, I think Aliyah Boston was unbelievably excited to play with Caitlin Clark because she probably thought, yes, it's going to help me. And Caitlin Clark would have thought that, what Aliyah Boston was as a rookie and what she was in college, okay, yeah, this is going to help me. And Aliyah Boston obviously did not, probably underestimated what an 8-month layoff and doing mostly broadcasting can do to your match sharpness. And did not come in match sharp. But this is the version of Aliyah Boston that Caitlin Clark was excited to play with. And this is the version of Caitlin Clark Aliyah Boston was excited to play with. And the Fever are killing teams. And you see here, in the changing room, so much for this team hates Caitlin Clark. They're trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark, whether it be the coach or the teammates.
First time for a rookie to get a triple-double in franchise history.
So you're looking at this team where it's they're starting to click. They are really, really starting to click. And whether it was Zubilation, whether it was anything, but you're just seeing so much with this team that they all get on with each other. They all get along. And it's there are some players that just don't fit on the court. There are players that don't fit on the court. And it includes look, Erica Wheeler and Caitlin Clark don't fit. Erica Wheeler has been a great vet off the court for Caitlin Clark. You can see they're never not at each other's side. So she's been a great vet to help lead Caitlin Clark. And Aliyah Boston, look, the two of them are young players. They're both 22 years old. And Caitlin Clark, not even that she's not a natural leader. She's your Kobe. She's your MJ type leader. And Kobe and MJ, well, maybe not even so much MJ, but like Kobe, especially when he came out at 18, he wasn't ready to be the best player in the world straight away. He eventually became that and became the leader. And I think Caitlin Clark will eventually in her career. But Aliyah Boston has that experience. You could see from the very start, Aliyah Boston was trying to help, making sure Caitlin Clark's head was screwed on, that she was doing okay, and it's obviously helped out. And then on the course, everything Caitlin Clark's doing is helping everybody. And I think even with the All-Star voting, they could see it. Like, I'm not entirely sure that Aliyah Boston is an All-Star. I think there's a good chance she's an All-Star, but I'm not entirely sure if she's an All-Star if she doesn't get in via voting. Because you can't forget that Ezi Magbegor got snubbed. So it really would have been probably between, look, Aliyah Boston, Bree Jones, Ezi Magbegor, they're all players at a similar enough level, and any of them could have been snubbed. And it wouldn't have been that surprising to see them snub Aliyah Boston if it was the coaches. So the Caitlin Clark fans coming out in droves was a big reason why Aliyah Boston got in. Who knows if she was the 5th highest voted player, what could have happened then? Because obviously there was hype for her coming in as a rookie last year. The South Carolina fans would have all voted. But like we've seen with the way the voting is, if it was just South Carolina fans, Cardoso would have been an All-Star. Or Cardoso would have been in the top 5. But yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see the Fever doing all right. It's good to see the Fever. Look, even in a loss, in a loss against Las Vegas, it wasn't like it was anything crazy. It wasn't like the loss, was it against the Storm, maybe? Where it was like, ask Aliyah some questions, like, and where they're just asking Caitlin questions and they're upset. It wasn't like after the loss against the Sky, where it was just coaching malpractice. This was a great win. And even again, the Aces was just a loss to a better team. Look, maybe they're not going to be on a high. They're not going to beat the teams all the time. They're not going to beat everyone. But can we finally put to bed all this sabotage? Like, the players, like, if you don't know anything about the sport, Caitlin Clark has turned the whole way the game's played on its head. She's playing a style of basketball that nobody has ever played in the women's game. She's pushing the floor like no one's ever seen. That's why the Iowa team was so interesting. Was not just because of her, just because of the way they played. And that's the way the Fever are doing it. That is the way the Fever are now playing. So it's like, if you're Kelsey Mitchell, you've been in the league, it's your 7th year in the league, you're probably like, well, me going ISO was what I do. This is what I do. If you're Aliyah Boston, no, slow down, get the ball into me in the post and let me do work, let me be a passer. That's what I do. And like all these players are like, no, we've been in the WNBA, we're playing WNBA style ball. And then this one player turned it all, and then basically being given out to on social media that you're not fitting in with this one player, being like, no, she's got to fit in with us. And eventually it's now, after 20 games, they're like, no, we just let her run the show. Let her run the show. I'm going to get easy shots the whole game if we just play around her. We can play around her, just cut, run, spot up, and we'll get wide open shots all game. And that is what the team is realizing now. And it does seem like, win or lose, there's no like, Chrissy Sides has realized it. The players have realized it, that they can look better as long as she's the floor general.